What does giving have to do with being successful in life? Does the path to success and abundance start with giving? Stay tuned for more detail.
Welcome to the Your Life Now show, where your life and your business matter. Your host is a certified executive coach and trainer with the passion to help make the difference in the world. Your Life Now show brings you powerful resources and effective tips to help you manage your life and your business at its best. And now, here's your host, Coach Ria.
Hello, my friends, and welcome. You are listening to Your Life Now radio show, where your life and your business matter. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host and executive producer, Coach Ria. Thank you again for being here. Just a quick intro. I am the founder and the CEO of Your Life Now. It's a professional coaching, training, and production company. On this show, we try to cover a lot of different topics related to our personal as well as professional life. On this show, we have experts that come in and share some helpful tips and suggestions with you. And you are welcome to contact them directly from the information we provide on the show page, or you can contact us at www.yourlifenow.info. Again, that's yourlifenow.info. But before we start the show, I like to set my intention, as always. My intention of hosting and continue to do the show is to inspire change and transformation. I like to inspire you to make some positive changes in your life and in your business so you can have the life that you desire and the successful business that you desire. So all I ask of you is to have an open mind and an open heart. Take what is useful for you and question everything. It's your life, so why don't you live it your way? We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will get right into our amazing show for you guys. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Your Life Now radio show with Coach Ria will return in just a few moments.
Welcome back, my friends. You are listening to Your Life Now radio show. I am your host, Coach Ria. Thanks again for joining us. Whether you are listening to the show live or archive, I do appreciate each one of you. So just a quick reminder, the show will be archived the minute we go off the air. So it's available for you to download, to listen to it again right here on this link. Or you can also go to iTunes in the podcast section and also listen there or download it, as well as the Stitcher app. So if you have the Stitcher app for your smartphone, you can listen to the show, all the episodes available right there on the Stitcher app. So this is the month of November, and we all know Thanksgiving happens in the month of November. So we here at Your Life Now radio show, we are celebrating the month of giving thanks. And then also, as an executive coach, I wanted to share with you some of the successful insights regarding giving for success and also generating abundance in your life. Now, I like to go to the fact that, Thanksgiving is one day a year where practically I look at the definition for Thanksgiving, of course, is, they really narrow it down to practically one thing, and that is to give thanks. Thanksgiving is the act of giving thanks. You're grateful, acknowledgement, a benefit for, whatever that you have. But normally the Thanksgiving and the giving thanks is normally, given to God. So it's tied into, spiritual, religious practice, where we give thanks to God for all these good things in our life and for this and for that. What normally, I would say actually it does. This is one of my favorite holidays. And but what really bothers me about this is the fact that we only dedicate one day a year to really kind of be consciously conscious of what is it that we have and what is it that we are thankful for and what are we really giving to receive all these great things to be thankful for, right? So most of the time, when you ask somebody, giving for success, they say, what do you mean I have to give to succeed? Well, here's a thought-provoking question for you. Will you give for just the sake of giving without expectation? Will you just be generous just for the sake of being generous without any attachment? Just take a look around you. You don't even have to look at yourself because you could be the greatest person on earth, and I know we're all great and we're all trying our best. But what I'm trying here to do is really just bring in some conscious awareness to this topic and just show you how a simple practices in our lives can move us to a higher level of success and abundance. And I will share a lot of things that happen in my life from practicing this some of these insights that I will be sharing with you. But if you take a look around you and you ask yourself the question, when was the last time you give anybody? And, giving, when we think about the word giving, we always think of material things. We always think of I have to give somebody something, I have to buy them something. But we also heard this phrase that people say, it's the thought that it counts. What does that mean? If you actually give it a little bit of, being considerate, being thoughtful, can go a long way. And some people, they don't appreciate it. And that's okay because remember, it's about giving without expectation. So if you really give from your heart just for the sake of giving, it doesn't matter how big or small what you're giving is. Giving could be as simple of helping somebody else, whatever, reaches success. Somebody needs help with something and that you can provide some of that help and you do it for them, that's a giving. And you're not expecting anything in return. But giving also could be material things, obviously, and this is where we get carried away with the material things because we think if we buy the most expensive gift for somebody, they have to like us. See, again, we're expecting return for our giving, and they have to do things for us. We create these rules about, what people owe us. Well, the truth is nobody owes you anything. When you do something, you're doing it by choice. And if you're doing it by choice, then you really should be attaching from the outcome from it because you make that decision to help somebody or to give something to someone. But when you attach conditions and some rules, I always say if you don't want anybody to break your own rules, don't have any. Don't have any conditions. In business, just the fact, if you look around and you're going to tell me, and I'm going to explain to you a different story, my perspective on this. So if you look around most successful people, business entrepreneur, rich people, famous people, they all have their favorite charity that they give to, their favorite cause, their favorite whatever, scholarship some people give, and they really doing it just so they can do it. I know with the case of celebrities, their publicists and all the stuff, they always trying to tell them to do that act because, again, they understand the law of giving. What is the law of giving? When you give, you will receive. See, I'm not I have to say this, be careful about how I say this. because if I want to say I'm not religious, but I do not practice any organized religion. I'm a spiritual being having this physical experience, and I do my best every single day to do good in the world for myself and for others. But when we focus only on ourselves, we tend to live alone. We tend to live in a world that only us exists. And this is where the puzzling part is, because unfortunately, many of us move around our daily lives with a daily routine where we are not conscious of our actions, of our doing, of what we're saying, and we almost feel, or it seems like, that everybody is living for themselves. Well, that's nice and dandy and great if you are living in a cave by yourself. But we live in a society, and we also live. We all can affect each other. We heard of the ripple effect. Anything that you do, anything that you say can affect someone else. We should be able to express ourselves, but we should also consider other people at the same time. Like I said, like anything else in life, we have habits. Some of these habits are good, and some of these habits are not so good. And if you focus only on yourself, you are living by yourself. Does that make any sense? Think about it. So if you want to be grateful, right, for something that you have, some people just say, crap this, I do not, like Thanksgiving, I've heard people saying that, people, it's all commercialized, whatever, and I don't really have anything to be thankful for. Well, that's where, obviously we all, the people who say that, obviously they really not consciously aware of how well they are comparing to some other people, right? So they do have a lot of things to be thankful for, regardless of how little, how small what they have is, are. So, a lot of time, when we people sit at the Thanksgiving table, and people just say, I'm thankful to this and I'm thankful to that, family, friends, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I say it like that, and with all due respect, and I don't want anybody to be, upset with me. But honestly, if you don't mean it, don't do it. Don't say it. Are you really grateful? Regardless of who you're talking to. Your message, the universe listening, right? So whether you're doing it because, you follow the practice of, religious and you're giving thanks to God, and my God is your God, and all, we all share the same thing, which is universal, God, right? So we all have something in common, right? So we give thanks. You can give thanks to anybody every single day, I have that practice, and I have to tell you, some of these things that have improved my life tremendously. I grow up, obviously this is another area that I like to touch base on, which is our belief, like how did you grow up, what kind of belief do you have, what kind of traits do you have, what kind of habits do you have. The way we grew up as children, we were taught, to respect everybody, to appreciate everything, to be grateful for everything, to say thank you all the time. And then to give thanks, and then to also share. So, sometimes like little kids, I remember when my son was really young, and, he's the only child. So when, he's playing with his friends, and we taught him the concept of sharing and giving. It's something that you are not playing with anymore. Wouldn't it be nice if you can make somebody else feel good before receiving that toy that you're not playing with it, or can you share or anything like that? So it's easy for me to kind of, grow from that perspective, because these were good habits, right? So, when we sit down at dinner, we always say thank you. When somebody makes me dinner, I say thank you, which doesn't happen in my house. I'm the one who cooks all the time. When I talk to my clients, I always make sure I say thank you. When you send an email, you want to make sure you end it with gratitude and thankful and, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then give that thanks. That's what you're giving. You're giving thanks, but do it daily. And, you know, in life, in personal life, and as well as in business, when you think about it, you know, in business, for instance, right, you own your own business, you have employees, acknowledge these employees. Don't just give them something in the end of the year, bonuses and holiday bonuses and all this stuff. I think throughout the year we can give so much. And it's like, again, the giving doesn't have to cost much if you understand what the giving means. So, for instance, in business, right, so when you uplift somebody's morale, you're making them feel good. When you say something nice, when you praise somebody, when you give them that appraisal saying like, wow, what a great job you did, acknowledge them. I have to tell you some of the things that I had, you know, some of the insights throughout my professional, you know, growth and starting my own company and everything, you know, challenges, you know, come in, got my college degree, my graduate degree, you know, not speaking English and learning, and then I was, you know, getting so much help, and I, in return, you know, wanted to do something. So for me, you know, I'm always thinking outside the box. What can I give that will make somebody feel good and appreciate it for what, you know, for that. So, like, in business, you know, like, I remember, like, you know, my clients, like, when I go, that's when I was in corporate sales, I used to go to visit my client after I sold them. And just, like, be, you know, spontaneous, whether, like, send them an email or, you know, I mean, people do that only around the holiday, right? They send you a birthday card. This is like a business practice, right? So just, you know, birthday cards or holiday cards or whatever it is. But then the rest of the year, you're off. You know, it's like, no, that doesn't exist anymore. But if we practice this, if we make this our daily routine, see, not only it makes us feel good, you're making somebody else feel good. And in return, in business, this is how success becomes, you know, how you become successful through giving. When you give, when you appreciate, when you take that extra step for your clients or for your loved one, your care one, whatever it is that you do, with the acknowledgement that you're doing it just out of your own willing, wanted to do it with no attachment, you're not expecting anything. These people, whoever it is that you're doing the giving to, not only it makes them feel good that you, whether you praise them or you give them something small or you just acknowledge them at all, it makes them feel good. And in return, they will talk about you. They will recommend you to another client. They will say, you know what, work with Coach Ria. Do this with Coach Ria because she appreciates you. And that's not what you see. Again, if you're really doing it because you're expecting something, you're missing the point. The point is just to do it as a habit. It's a great habit to give and then to give thanks for the things that you are able to give. See, when people tell me I don't have anything to give, I tell them to go ahead and list everything they have in their life, about them, about their business, everything that they can think of. And then they say, oh, that's easy. I can do that. And then they got this list, and it's big. Because if you get them to think about it, obviously anytime you ask somebody a question, everybody has the answer, right? But nobody asks them that question. But if you do, take that list, make that list, put things down, and then look at them and tell me after that you don't have anything to be grateful for. And you don't have anything to share and to give. You'll know that's not true anymore, right? So we can always give. So here's an example in business. A lot of time when we connect with people, we make business connection, we add people to our professional network and social media and so on and so forth. we just like, okay, we take them for granted, right? So it's like, okay, so so-and-so wants to connect with me, fine, I'll connect with them. So-and-so wants to be my friend, great. Well, you know, the more the merrier. But when was the last time you actually stopped and sent that person? And there's a lot of people who practice that, especially like, you know, good business practice, is actually to send a message and to actually, without selling anything, again, no expectation. I'm glad to connect with you. How can I be of service to you? How can I help you? Will you be able to start doing that? Can you do that without any attachment? Think about it. So giving, receiving, success, abundance, they all come together when you understand the concept of giving. So a lot of times, again, people dedicate that one day a year of giving thanks and giving to charity and donating. And, you know, like some of the practices that I see just kind of blows my mind, which is like, why don't we do that every day? Why don't we just like, you know, just practice these things that we do once a year, every single day? We will live in a better society. We will live in a better world. But we don't. And not because we can't, because we choose not to. So ask if somebody needs your help. Don't go out of your way when you cannot, you don't have the resources or you don't have the money or you don't have anything. Because, I mean, I see people like they go in debt to go give somebody. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about what you are able to do. Remember the thoughts that count? Because when you, all you have to do is to create that ripple, right? It starts in your mind. It starts in anybody's mind. When you put that seed in somebody else's mind, understanding that giving could be contagious, then everybody else will do it, right? Without any expectation. Oh, great. You know, I'll pass this on to someone else. Because, you know what, we don't have any use for this. Maybe somebody else will use it. Can I reach out to this person and see if I can help them? How many times you hear people say, and you can actually become more successful by helping someone else become successful? And honest to truth, that is so true for me. Because I would not be here where I am, professionally if I didn't get that kind of help from people who were opening to help me. And now I do the same. I don't do all my help for free. We're not saying it's a charity here. You know, we are saying that you practice the concept of giving and gratitude. Gratitude and thanks to the things that you have and able to give and share with people. So if you can help somebody who this is how I looked at it. Like I used to go to my professors all the time in college. I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help. Like I couldn't remember like how many times I used to say that. And I wasn't shy of asking because I really did need help. I was so determined. I'm very self-disciplined, and I want to succeed, and I am where I am right now because of that mental attitude that I have, and I'm grateful for it. So I used to go out there and ask, I need help with this. I can't write this paper. What can I do with this? How I can do my research paper? How can this, and so on and so forth. And then when people were helping me, again, they were creating that ripple. And I know throughout my school, colleges, and even, later on with my certifications and everything else that I had accomplished thus far, came through people who always had faith in me and had something to give me, which is that kind of like, telling me, I know you're going to be successful, Rhea. I can see you being so successful. Do you know like those words, how great they are, how well they make you feel? And you know what? And I have to tell you, in my practice, especially when you start your own business, I started my company in 2008. Anybody who is a startup company, a small business owner, small, business entrepreneur who have a small operation and they're trying to grow and everything. They understand what I'm talking about. When there's so many times that you feel you're about to give up, right? You give up, right? Instead of, giving to Ed or somebody or whatever or sharing something, you give up. You just say, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And that's why a lot of businesses fail. But for me, it's the same practice that I used to do when I was in sales, in corporate sales. And I'll share that with you again. I've shared this before. But personally, to uplift my morale, I constantly bring into my mind those words from, like, for instance, I remember my teacher, Dr. Shad Humstead, who certified me as executive coach, and I worked with him very closely. And then other people in real estate who believed in me and and so on and so forth. Even my corporate sales, my managers, my people just say, Ria, you are, amazing. You're like, I don't want like an ego kind of thing, but, you can do it. You're going to be very successful. I know that. I'm going to hear great things about you. I can tell you there was at least 3 people that always come to my mind when I feel like being like, beat by all these obstacles that life brings to us, right? And then I'm just like, but Ria, remember, you can do it. So, when we reach for help, we should always provide help first, right? So instead of asking for, in my, school things, it was a little bit different, but still, I appreciated my professors and the assistant professors for helping me and all this stuff. And I knew I was always constantly trying to do something to make sure that they know I really appreciate what they have done for me. That's a simple act of giving thanks, obviously, but then also the concept of giving and allowing yourself to receive as well. But not to give so you can receive. See the difference? So again, giving and receiving what life is about. You give, you will receive. What goes around comes around. Simple as that. Stories after stories, we could be sitting here for 3 hours talking about this, and I can tell you that is absolutely 125 or 150% correct. If you give, and you give from your heart without any attachment, whether in business or in your personal life or whatever, you most likely receive. But you have to also be open to receive. Some people, they say, no, I don't need help. Because, again, when you live your life only for yourself, by yourself, you will end up by yourself. Right? I said that before. So what can you do? What can you start doing right now to kind of implement those habits that are healthy habits? Mental attitude of gratitude and giving for no reason. So, again, when you think you don't have anything to give, I challenge you to make a list of everything that exists in your life, including how you feel, because if you feel good and you're healthy and you are mobile and you can help somebody else become mobile by like maybe volunteering 1 hour a week or something like that to help somebody walk across whatever, anything that you can do from your heart without any attachment and just do it because you can and you have, that's what giving is all about. So, again, I would like to, this first part of the hour here is really thinking about the insights and thinking about some of the things that you can bring your awareness to right now in your life, whether in your personal life or in business. Are you giving enough? Are you asking if someone needs help? Are you doing it just for the sake of doing it? What can you do to make somebody's day better today? That's giving. What can you say to somebody today to make them feel good about themselves? Giving. No attachment. I shared the story a while back, but it was really interesting because I found it to be because of the way we think, our mental attitude about giving and receiving and all the stuff, which makes it really kind of awkward for people to receive some help from people strange people and at any given time. So the story was, I was at the grocery store, my local grocery store, and there was a couple sort of a little bit older people behind me. And I had a few other items, more items than they did, and I was in front of them. And honestly, I didn't even think about it. Like I didn't even think about why I was doing it. It was like a natural reaction to me because I looked at them and they seemed like I should let them go in front of me. This is an act of kindness, right? So that's giving. And I did not think about it like, oh, it's a huge deal. I'm doing something so great. I must be so wonderful or whatever. None of this thing came to my mind. What came to my mind at that given moment, I felt that I can give something that maybe will make these people, feel good. Somebody like, there's good people in the world, right? We always say like, oh, there's no good people left in the world. Well, there is a plenty of good people in the world. Plenty. If we open our mind and we open our heart to see that. So I said to them, to the couple, I said to them, could you please, you're welcome to go in front of me. I know I have more stuff than you guys do. And I was in an express lane. So it wasn't like, it was in a regular lane. The lady turned around and looked at me and literally, like she was shocked and looked at me like, I don't know you. Why are you doing that, right? So she said to me, she's like, why? Why? Never. I wasn't ready to answer that question because I felt like when you do an act of kindness, you're not going to be questioned, right? Like, why are you doing it? So I said to her, I really don't have a reason. I just felt like, to be nice, I guess. I don't know. And then, of course, she started to warm up to me because, she's like, oh, why this stranger? And, and whatever, people, tend to judge and, whatever. And I'm okay with that. If we all change how we think about each other and how we behave toward each other, and we become more kind and caring for to one of each other, and things will become so much better. I mean, I know people say, like, well, we don't live in a perfect, world, and if we do, we'll be a boring world. Well, I don't know what to tell you. And, yes, we will have, there's always opposite to everything, right? The duality, I guess. If you live in a duality world where you think there's the bad and good and all this, I say there is no bad. I think bad is really nothing but the absence of goodness. And evil is the absence of goodness. And, all these things that we have, these mental programs about how things should be and all these rules that society that give us to follow, it traps us in that little, world that it's you by yourself. Well, we don't live alone. We don't live in a cave. We live in a society. We live, whether your business, your employees, how much time you spend in the office, how much time you spend in your personal life with people, all these things count as a society, right? Society, business, your business, your personal life, everything. So when you make these comments, when you make these suggestions, as far as like, I'm in it for me and myself, and I give when I want to, you know, I mean, you do it once a year, I don't think most of us understand what that means then, if that's the case. So let's hang in there for a second. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we will talk about some of the different ways that you can start practicing giving for success and for abundance. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Your Life Now radio show with Coach Ria will return in just a few moments.
Welcome back, my friends. You are listening to Your Life Now radio show. I am your host, Coach Ria. Thanks again for joining us. And before the break, we were talking about giving for success and abundance. And is it really true that the path to success and abundance start with giving? And the answer is yes. Yes, yes, absolutely yes. And why is that? Because the more we give, the more we receive. But giving to receive has to be, you know, I mean, obviously when you want to give for the sake of giving. And what goes around, we know that it comes around. So what are you giving today? What are you doing today? And again, giving is not just material things. It's not just material things. Things, okay, could be a nice letter that you send to a friend that you haven't talked to for a long time, just to tell them how much you care about them and share your kindness. That's giving. It's something that you tell your employee or even, you know, someone who works with you, your partner, whoever, you know, how a great job they've done. And it makes them feel good without any attachment, just to uplift their morale, just to make them feel good. You're just doing it just for the sake of doing it. No attachment. So when it comes to what, I mean, I'm always curious to know, and what comes to your mind when you think of the word giving? Like I said before the break, you know, most of the time we think about, you know, Thanksgiving. We think about giving thanks to God for all the things that we have and list of things. Most of the time we're so general, we're not specific, right? Just, you know, we feel like that's what we have to do. These are the norms. So you're giving thanks because you feel like you have to give a thanks, you know, on a subconscious mind. I see, you know, I shared with you before the break how, you know, some of the things that I grew up, you know, some of the practices that we've done, which we said, you know, we all have habits, right, that we inherited. I call them the mental program. There's some good stuff in there. There's some really good good things in our mind and good habits that are worth keeping, and there's some that need to just go away. Not fixing, because we're not breaking anything to fix here, okay? If something doesn't work, you just get rid of it. You don't fix it. You just get rid of it. Nobody needs fixing. By the way, I just wanted to put this out there because most of the time people think it's like, oh, you know, something must be wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. What really needs help is how you think about yourself. So see, like, how all these things, like, really help, you know, I call it psychology of the mind. I love these things. Because when you give, you actually not only doing something good for someone else, you are boosting your self-confidence. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel worthy. It makes you feel like, wow, I was able to do this, regardless how big or small. Again, we're not talking big. We're not talking, we're talking steps. We're talking small things, small gestures, small whatever it is, the thought that counts. So that's a great thing. So when you have self-confidence, and this is how the whole thing tied in together. When you give thanks, right? When you give thanks, your body, and when you give, I'm not just giving thanks, when you give something to someone and you praise someone or you share something with someone, you basically, you get these things going on in your mind, just makes you feel so good or whatever. So what happened is it's the feeling, right? You just heard me saying. You start feeling good. When you start feeling good, you boost your self-esteem. You feel good about life. You feel good about things. And then you do more, and you accomplish more, and you make more, and you succeed more. And then you keep it flowing and flowing and flowing. So when I go to somebody, like whether I go to, to someone's house or I see somebody, so I haven't seen them for a long time, or I go to client's office, or I meet somebody for lunch, and I want to be thoughtful, and I do this all the time, actually, because this is a habit, that I consider to be a good habit that I do, and you can do whatever you can, right? I always think of something that I want to give them, right? Just something to share with them, just to make them know that I was thinking of them, that they mean something to me. I appreciate every single person that comes in my life, and I think we really need to really take a look at that. And there's a lot of people that come to our life, and honestly, you think it's like, oh, my God, why on earth did I even have these people in my life? Why on earth did I have this person as my business partner? They were like, they were not doing their job. They make us fail. They do the blah, 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 blah. But truly, if you look closely, everything and every person that shows up in your life showed up for a reason. What is that reason? It's for you to find out. But if you don't open your mind and you don't have an open heart, you stay closed in, and then therefore what you do, every judgment, every decision that you make, every choice that you make it from a place of old beliefs, of old habits. Society puts stuff on us. The news, keep information gets thrown on us, and we constantly just take in, right? But we don't let it flow. We don't allow things to flow. If we keep it in, somebody give you something, you hold on to it. You got money, you hold on to it. You got this, you hold on to it. Or what if? That's where the fear comes in, right? So if these thoughts, these habits, these mental programs are actually not doing you good in your life, and you're really blaming everything on everybody else around you, you're not giving. You're only taking, and you're taking things for granted. You follow me? So whatever you do, and this is one of the first suggestion that I would suggest to you, think of something that you can do, an act of kindness, something nice to say to somebody, something that you can give that is not going to put you out, that makes somebody else feel better for receiving it, and just sit back and enjoy the gift that you just did. See it, see those people feeling good, or seeing someone, you put a smile on somebody's face. And, I have to tell you, there were so many stories, again, that, just the simple act of giving helped me become more and more successful in my life, in my personal life and in my professional life. And this is another show, another topic about how and what we think success is. Being content, moving from a side of fear, the emotions that come from fear, to the emotion of love and caring, not only for yourself, for everyone that you come in contact with. And think outside the box. When I say outside the box, I really don't really actually care for that phrase. Think, broad your mind. What the phrase that I like to use is open your mind. Open your mind more. And be deliberate. Be conscious. Some of the practices that I do every single day, but for you to actually start doing this, what I would suggest, like I mentioned before, people say, well, I don't have anything to give, right? To give thanks for something to, you really need to know what you're giving thanks to. So the first things that I would suggest that you should do is to make a list of everything in your life, big or small, that you were having it, right? And then think of ways that you can share some of these things that you have with someone else without any attachment. We are in business to be in business, right? So we're not talking about giving what you do for a living for free. That's not what we're talking about here. But when you do something, even like, there's certain people I know, they like take a percentage of their, their income and they put it somewhere because that's how they do their charity, whatever. That's a good way to do it. But for me, what I do, I acknowledge, what my, what I have, obviously. I try to be a little bit more conscious of what I have and what can I give away. What can I share? And, do it based on what you can do. Again, you're doing it not because you have to. If you're doing it because you have to, that really breaks down what the whole giving for success and abundance is. You're doing it because you know you can, because you appreciate it, and now you want to give it away. Dr. Wayne Dyer, before he died, before he passed, God bless his soul, he had his assistant on several times go to his house in Maui and just take everything that he owns and give it away. He said, it's all things. It's all things. And, obviously you guys know I give tribute to him, after his passing, and he really did teach me a lot. And I practice some of the things that I've learned from him, from his book, The Power of Intention. I set intentions every single day. Malika Chopra, bless you, she got her book now, Living with Intention. Her site, Intention, I used to go there every single day and set my intention for that day. And I am living my intention. And I'm grateful for that. So it starts with the intent of giving without any attachment. One of the other things that I've learned, and I did it a couple of times, and I was like, okay, well, this really sounds good. And I was in the book. He was talking about this guy or a girl, I can't remember exactly, it doesn't really matter, but someone was going through a toll plaza. And the guy went and paid his toll, and then he told the cashier at the booth, he said, I'd like you to also take the toll for the car behind me. So he created a ripple effect, right? So now the car behind him got to the booth, and then the lady at the register, at the cashier, or the gentleman at the cashier said, oh, no, your toll has already been paid. And the woman was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, the guy in front of you paid it. So the thing is, she started doing it. So she's like, oh, well, this is really cool. If we can all start some kind of an act of kindness and give something, what is 35 cents or whatever? Here in the New York area, you go to Manhattan's and you pay whatever. I can remember now how much it keeps going up, right? But it's what you can, okay? Not going out of your way. So maybe I would assume somebody has a 35 cents if you're going through the tollway, whatever, that is, that small, whatever. but it's the act of kindness. You're giving something without a return just because. You don't know that person behind you. You just felt like doing it. So I actually tried it, and I really felt really, really good about doing it. And I remember one time, I very rarely actually have any, cash. I'll use card, wherever we go. But, like you would normally have, before I got my Easy Pass. And I was going through the toll, and I just realized that I actually did not have any cash on me. And I was like, oh, my God, this is like really. She's like, oh, just write an IOU, and then, send your payment. I was like, wow, this is really cool. But the thing is, this is, because you owe somebody money, right? But I'm just saying, when you do the giving, do it because you don't owe anybody anything, and nobody owes you anything, right? You're just doing it for the sake of doing it. So after you got your list and you know what you have and what you don't have and what feeling, good about and how you can share it, make the commitment to keep things flowing. Wealth will expand when you keep it, moving, right? So like if we all, like let's say we get our paycheck or we get our whatever, and just hold on to it. What happens? Nothing get paid, right? The money's bank will close because there is no, exchange of money anymore. And we go back to the old way of doing things. There will be like, I'll give you a cow for my whatever. We don't live that kind of society, right? So you have to keep the money flowing, right? So you pay, for your mortgage, your rent. You pay for your groceries, you pay for, your business expenses, you pay, and somebody else keeps doing it. That's flowing, right? You're keeping things flowing. But when we try to hold on to things, we lock them. We hold them hostage. And therefore, we are preventing the act of receiving. So now we can't receive. Like, who's going to give us if everybody's holding on to something, right? So in order for us to change how things happen, we need to keep everything flowing. So you got your list, you know exactly what you're grateful for, and then what you have, and make that list, take your time with it, and then start practicing the act of gratitude every single day. I do this, honestly, I do it every morning I get up. And I also do it before I go to bed. Or I'm in bed and I do it, when I'm in bed. But when I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes, I have, different practices that it's not relevant right now to do it. But the practice of gratitude, I go through what I'm grateful for every single day. And I make sure I acknowledge the good things, the people, the stuff that happened the day before. So now, not only your list is going to start to get bigger, you're going to have more things to be grateful for. How cool is that? Honestly, how cool is that? They're very simple practices. You just have to bring your conscious awareness to it. You have to realize where you are in order for you to know where you're going. These are simple, coaching, tips that I can give you right now regarding success and abundance and giving and receiving. You got to give to receive, but you also have to allow yourself to receive as well. And you also have to be grateful for giving and for receiving. Not only for receiving. A lot of time what we do, we give thanks, but also give thanks for the things that you give. Say, I am really grateful that I was able to give or compliment this person or send this whatever, flowers, or buy whatever to this person and just make them feel really good. I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. Attitude of gratitude. Gratitude is the bridge from negative feelings to harnessing the force of love. So you got to be grateful for what you have, grateful for everything you receive, and grateful for what you want in your life and in your business. and think of it as you already have it. These are some of the practices. They call them the law of attraction, whatever. Think of the things that you want and give thanks to them like they already have existed. They have manifested in your life. I do this all the time. I always say, like, one of the simple things that I can share with you as a phrase that I say from my personal gratitude morning, I say, I am so grateful for this great day ahead. I'm already anticipating that my day is going to be great. I'm grateful to be given another day to learn a new way, to be better to myself and others. This is what I say, and I say a lot more. But these some of the things that I say them over and over. And give love. We hear the Beatles say, right, all we need is love. That's the strongest emotion we humans can ever experience. Love. If we all come from that place of love, everything will be okay. We'll be able to do more, achieve more, and have more. So, what are you grateful for? In business, remember, go the extra mile for your clients, your partner. Give them something. Increase someone's morale, productivity, make them feel good. Practice this all year around, not just on Thanksgiving, not just one day a year. Make a decision to give wherever you are, wherever you go, to whatever you see. As long as you are giving, you are most likely to be receiving if you allow yourself to receive. And again, like I mentioned, the more you give, the more confidence you will gain. These are simple, practices, but they are really, really very, very powerful. When you think about something that makes you feel, these negative thoughts, whatever comes to your mind, and just say, I don't have anything to be grateful for. I don't have anything to give. I don't have this. I don't have that. That's when you need to do most of the work. Because I can guarantee you will change your attitude about giving and receiving in gratitude when you start writing everything down. So don't let anything stop you from living the amazing life that you deserve to live. And do it by being conscious, by being grateful, by giving, by receiving, by acknowledging the people that help you along the way. Do it just because you can. Do it just because you want to. Do it anytime you feel like I always say it's like, if I wanted to feel good, honestly, maybe this is a condition. But it's just, to me, it's just like, it's just such a rewarding, because I'm ready to receive at that point. It is so rewarding to do something, to give something of yourself, whatever it is, to someone else that you just made their day. Until next time, my friend, remember this month of November. Hello, Ria. It's November. We are celebrating the act of giving and giving thanks as well. So next week, we'll touch base. We'll get you guys, going. I have some good things to share with you as well. And until next time, you know what to do. Keep your head above the clouds or above water or whatever. And then remember, as long as you have another day, you have another opportunity to do something better. So One time I heard somebody just say, oh, I'm glad that Tuesday is tomorrow. Well, what happened to the day? So take every moment, live every moment, be cautious of every moment, be kind to everybody, and let's all help make a world a better world so we can all enjoy life better. Until next time, stay amazing. Much love to you all. Take care. If you like, just one more thing, it takes collaborations. And one more thing, it takes collaboration and mutual agreement to make the impossible possible. So go ahead and celebrate who you are and make the impossible possible. And always position yourself and your business for success. Be present. Look for insight. Take action. Take small steps. Evaluate what you are doing. And remember where you are so you know where you are heading. Stay amazing. Much love to all.